Does this help or hurt Kaepernick's message? Commercialism reflects social behavior, but it also, as a positive feedback loop, is influenced by social behavior.
Okay.
In other words, the same argument that people are making, and you have made this argument,
okay.
well, the economic activity of the NFL is reflective of the consumer's tastes. And so if they don't want Kaepernick, then what are you going to do about the NFL owners, right? So does this help or hurt Kaepernick's message? The fact that Nike is now in business with him, of course, helps it. Not only because it amplifies it right now, but it reflects a huge percentage of the population that has supported Kaepernick. And because now this is being reflected, it will further influence social behavior because it's mainstreaming it further. It will absolutely be good for Kaepernick's message. The best argument against it is that, well, now it's commercialized, right? Like
I don't think that's the best argument.
But there are many who, I think it is a good message. Wait a minute, Kaepernick, what are we doing here? You're selling out to a brand that has other issues, that, that uses labor overseas and pays them this amount, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
And my point there is, any historical figure, they're all human beings. Look at them up close, you will find warts.
Sure.
You will find flaws.
Of course.
If you examine Kaepernick carefully, you can absolutely criticize him on different levels. But the big picture is this will amplify his message.
I get it. Let me throw this back at you, and let me get your response to this. A couple of things. Number one, Colin Kaepernick protests. We didn't hear much noise about it. He was protesting for weeks before local and national media picked it up. A matter of fact, one could make the argument none of us gave a damn about it until President Trump spoke out and said, fire all those SOBs.
No, it predates that. It predates that by a month or two.
The protest predates this. I'm talking about the momentum that swelled. It really hit the fan once President Trump said what he said, because after that, the immediate aftermath of that, we saw Jerry Jones take a knee on Thursday Night Football. Jerry Jones took a knee because in solidarity with the players. But that's the plus side. Here's the potential minus side. We have a guy that's been martyred. We have barely heard a word from him since all of this has gone down. He's left all the talking to people like me, other athletes and other sports and beyond, number one. Number two, there's been division amongst NFL players. You have most of them not taking a knee. You have most of them not protesting. You even have Malcolm Jenkins and a players coalition that use that as an opportunity to address some of their concerns. You have that going on. You have rap artists and others who have been active in the communities in terms of meeting, not just with police officials, but with elected officials in order to do real things to provoke change. Colin Kaepernick has been nowhere to be found outside of the courtroom, and that was what just came up. Outside of that, we haven't heard anything from him.
That's not fair, though.
Please.
He can't speak right now because
I said before.
No, but he's not. So maybe he doesn't feel comfortable as a public orator.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable as a public orator. And by the way, early on, I was critical of him when he wore the shirt with Malcolm X and Castro.
That's right.
Because I thought whatever the relationship is, and there are reasons to it, you don't wear a shirt lionizing Castro in any way. Not for it. I think he needed to answer for that. It's America. He doesn't have to.
Right.
But the idea that Kaepernick owes the public discourse, debate, explanation from him himself in a live setting. He may not feel comfortable with it.
I have an answer for that for you because it's very important that both of y'all hear this. You've heard me say this before, and this is not casting any aspersions on anybody. I'm just giving you the real. White folks come to work with a job to do every day. Black folks come with a responsibility. Here's what I mean by that. Stephen A. Smith is on national television. We're doing a sports show. When Trayvon Martin went down, you got to say something. You got to say something. When Eric Gardner went down, you got to say something. When Walter Scott happened in South Carolina and got shot in the back 8 times by police, Stephen A., you got to say something. What I'm saying to you is this. Because there's a paucity or a scarcity of voices over the national airwaves, black folks who are in a position of influence are constantly called upon to step out of their lane, and step up and address issues.
Are you talking about external social pressure to do it? Because I feel internal. I feel internal motivation to talk about these issues.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we have to do because I'm getting to Kaepernick. What I'm saying to you is Kaepernick, knowing that because he comes from that, has to understand that. And so when you're quiet, That's a problem when other people are putting themselves on the line, speaking up on your behalf when we haven't even heard from you.
Maybe he felt like it was more powerful. He said his message through protesting. And that was.
But what I'm saying to you, Molly, is this. It could be me. You might be right. You might be right. But the point is, if we're not hearing from you publicly or privately, because I know of people who have reached out to Colin Kaepernick, who have looked to go to Capitol Hill.
Let's look at the facts. Let's go back and look at the facts.
Sure.
Hang on a second.
Sure.
From the beginning, it was a silent, peaceful protest.
That's true.
He did not try to call attention to it. Someone in the media early on, after a week or two, noticed, hey, Kaepernick is sitting down during the national anthem.
Okay.
People started asking him about it.
Okay.
He never made some bold proclamation. He didn't approach this as Muhammad Ali approached social issues.
True, but he is on a National Football League field doing what he was doing, Matt.
Stephen A., he wanted to meet with NFLs and NFL owners. Remember the divide with the Players Coalition? He did try to speak there. There was some division, as you've alluded to, with Malcolm.
Yes, division, yes.
So he was trying, Malcolm Jenkins, excuse me, trying to make those things happen. I think he just didn't have the right avenue to do so.
Okay, and I'm saying to
and now he can't speak.
And I'm saying to y'all, I've spoken to many, many people. And in fairness to Colin Kaepernick, there's a divide. There are people that say exactly what you have said. There are others that said he's had ample opportunity to speak to us privately, if not publicly, about these issues, and he has passed. They have said that, and they felt like he's left them hanging. The point is, it's worth discussing.
The point is, Nike feels that there is money to be made with Colin Kaepernick because he resonates with an enormous part of the youth population.
And I agree with them.
And I do think it's going to help Nike, and I do think it'll help Colin Kaepernick, and I agree with you where you're hijacking it and the message was a little bit late.
Yes.
If it was really genuine, it could have came a little bit earlier. They also had a strong statement I want to mention, too, with the French Open when Serena Williams was banned with that cat suit. They came out strong supporting her because I was disgusted by that situation as well. So
there's money to be made in social justice for Nike.
yeah, just do it.
And they
All right,
will
guys.
do it.
Good sign.